So you think you know 70s progressive rock, do you? Well, think again. Because beyond the big names like Yes, Genesis and King Crimson, there's a world of incredible music just waiting to be discovered. Well, this video is all about 20 hidden gems that capture the creative virtuosity and sheer imagination that made the 70s the golden era of prog rock. Now, first up is Gentle Giant, that British band renowned for its complex arrangements, those tight vocal harmonies and blending rock with a classical and medieval influence. Now, their album Acquiring the Taste marked their turn towards a more experimental sound. The track I'm featuring is Pantagruel's Nativity, which is a short whimsical track that opens the album with some theatrical storytelling. Now, it features intricate counterpoint, layered vocals and really some quite unusual time signatures. Well, it is Gentle Giant after all. The lyrics were inspired by Rabelais' Pantagruel and explore absurdity and human folly in quite a light-hearted manner, if that's possible. The track shows off how the band's inventiveness and technical skills all align to help set the tone for the rest of the album. Now, the next track to consider comes from Van der Graaf Generator, and led by the enigmatic Peter Hamel, who was known for his dark, intense sound and philosophical lyrics. The album Pawn Hearts is arguably their career highlight, and that mixes prog complexity with avant-garde experimentation to really quite a spectacular conclusion. The track I'm looking at is Man-Erg. It's an 11-minute epic. It opens the album with a bleak, dystopian feel. It examines the alienation and mechanized humanity, while the music alternates between haunting mellotron, jagged saxophone, and really some explosive drums. Now, this somewhat unconventional structure mirrors the emotional journey, and a blend of rock, jazz, and avant-garde elements make it a landmark 70s prog track. Now, Camel were noted for their melodic storytelling and instrumental virtuosity. Their album Mirage solidified that reputation with both epics and lyrical songs, and the track I'm looking at here is Lady Fantasy, which is only a 13-minute track split into multiple sections that combined guitar, flute and keyboards par excellence. The storyline explores romantic longings through expressive instrumentals. From a style perspective, it blended symphonic rock with jazz-influenced improvisations that really highlighted Andy Latimer's spectacular guitar work. Next I have that Are They Aren't They prog band Kansas, who merged American hard rock with prog complexities, often using classical influences. Now, with the album Song for America, this demonstrated their ambition with extended compositions. And the 11-minute title track, it switches between heavy riffs with lush keyboard orchestrations and really some extravagant tempo changes. And those harmonized vocals really help to enhance the lyrics' thematic weight. It's got a suite-like structure to it, and with contrasting movements it gives it a cinematic yet progressive feel throughout. Now, if you're not familiar with the band Uriah Heep, they help to fuse hard rock energy with progressive and symphonic elements. Now, this included featuring dramatic vocals with layered keyboards melodies, really to maximum effect. But it is the song July Morning, which is a 10-minute anthem from this album, that is the one that portrayed a quest for personal meaning, alternating between introspective verses with soaring choruses and really anchored by the keyboards and guitar. Lyrically, it captured a type of renewal as well as self-discovery, whilst those extended instrumental passages created a cinematic sense of space. The gradual build to a triumphant climax really highlighted tension and release, which is such a hallmark of progressive rock. My favourites now, Renaissance became known for combining symphonic orchestration with rock, and with Annie Haslam's soaring vocals just providing the cherry on top of the cake for me. Now, the album Ashes Are Burning, and specifically that title track, blended classical influences with really some quite intricate progressive arrangements. This track featured a mix of lush strings, a piano and layered vocals that really seemed to create quite a majestic and expansive sound. The lyrics explored love, loss and reflection, and this was all wrapped up in some poetic imagery. Now, the song showed Renaissance's ability to fuse a storytelling depth with some really delightful musical sophistication. It remains one of their defining works of 70s progressive rock. Now, the Dutch band Focus were known for some exceptional instrumentation, along with a playful mix of rock, classical and folk elements. The album Moving Waves had propelled them to international recognition, and that track, Hocus Pocus, a lively 6-minute track, is full of energy alternating between heavy riffs and vocal yodeling. You heard me, and it became their best-known track at the time. The song stood out for a number of features which included intricate guitar sections, organ and flute passages that really resembled someone experiencing demonic possession in my mind, with a series of rapid shifts in tempo and dynamics. There was a humour and unpredictability to it that made it stand out in the ranks of progressive rock. You don't often get humour and progressive rock together. Now, the structure balanced technical complexity with accessibility, and this created an immensely memorable and enjoyable experience. Next, I'm looking at the band Nectar, who are a British-German progressive rock band known for conceptual albums and space rock influences. Now, their album Remember the Future is a continuous sci-fi themed album exploring futuristic themes. And the track I'm concentrating on, Remember the Future Part 1, opens with some hypnotic keyboards, a driving bass and some expansive guitar textures. Now, the lyrics tell of cosmic journeys and essential reflection, with something of quite a surreal and dreamlike quality to it. But in the instrumental passages, they build up the tension and the atmosphere and use repetition and gradual layering to achieve this. It's really exceptional. The track reflects on Nectar's specific blend of psychedelia and progressive sophistication. It's got an immersive style that really makes it a standout in 70s space prog. Hatfield and the North now were part of that legendary Canterbury scene and fused jazz, rock and humour into their intricate arrangements. The self-titled album featured complex, quite whimsical compositions. The track I'm featuring from them is the Yes No interlude, and it's quite a short but playful track that combines off-kilter rhythms and some melodic shifts. It's got quirkiness and jazz-inflected instrumentation, and it's showed throughout, and the unexpected tempo changes do demonstrate the band's technical skill really well indeed. Lyrically a bit minimal, the emphasis on the musical storytelling through the dynamics and phrasing. The track's offbeat character really captures the experimental spirit of the Canterbury scene of the time, and its brevity belies its charm and inventiveness. Looking at Can now, who were a German krautrock band who were well known for experimental soundscapes and improvisational structures. Their album Tego Mago is a landmark for the group as it blended avant-garde, rock and electronic elements all together in one. Hallelujah is an 18-minute hypnotic journey anchored by repetitive bass and drums. It's really consisted of a layered, really trance-like groove. And although the lyrics were sparse and really quite abstract, it really does enhance the song's meditative quality. This was a piece of music that demonstrated the band's mastery of rhythm, of texture, and of atmosphere. Now, it does remain one of the most influential pieces of experimental 70s prog that was around. Gong, on the other hand, were a Franco-British band, a mixed psychedelic, space rock and progressive styles all in one impressive mix. The album You was part of the Radio Gnome Invisible trilogy, which blended whimsical storytelling with some musical experimentation. And the featured track, Master Builder, really is all about those hypnotic rhythms, layered guitars and ethereal vocals. The lyrics describe spiritual ascent and cosmic explorations, full of playful mysticism. It's that repetitive, trance-inducing structure that mirrors the meditative themes. The instrumentation is richly textured and combines rock, jazz and Eastern influence. The track embodied Gong's eccentric, spacey prog vision. We have J Warrior next, a British band that fused progressive rock with Eastern and world music influences. Their album, Released, showed their unique instrumental and atmospheric approach to music, and the track Barazinbar in particular featured flowing guitars, flutes and ethereal percussion, creating an almost immersive mystical sound. The song's title and themes really evoke landscapes of spiritual journeys. Now, that instrumental storytelling dominates with gradual builds and some melodic variations. The track blends classical and rock textures really quite seamlessly. It's serene. The otherworldly atmosphere exemplifies 70s progressive experimentation. Now, French band Clearlight created quite a symphonic instrumental prog style that blended rock and classical styles really quite neatly. Their album Clearlight Symphony emphasized the orchestration and sonic experiment that they were looking to achieve at the time. The title track is the one I'm looking at, and it's all about organ, strings and synthesizers in a layered manner into an evolving composition. It's got a structure that mirrors a classical symphony with some distinct movements and thematic development. The track evokes both grandeur and intimacy, balancing technical skill with some emotional expression. The instrumental storytelling again conveys narrative without lyrics, making it a true combination of progressive and classical influences in a standout 70s prog piece. The Italian band Banco del Mucchio Soccorso were known for their theatrical symphonic progressive rock music as well, with some really quite complex arrangements to boot. Their debut album blended classical influence with some rock virtuosity. Metamorphosis is a dramatic, multi-sectional track which alternates lyrical passages with some instrumental exploration. The song explores themes of transformation and existential struggle. Now, the keyboards and vocals are particularly expressive on this one, and they convey a massive, really quite emotional intensity. The structure is ambitious, and there's frequent shifts in tempo and texture. The track is a great example of how the grandeur of Italian prog in the 70s really is exemplified. Now, Caravan were another Canterbury scene band and combined jazz, rock and whimsical storytelling like many of the bands from this era did. Now, their 1971 album In the Land of Grey and Pink really is a seminal piece featuring extended melodic prog compositions. The track on their 9 Feet Underground is a 22-minute suite moving through multiple moods and instrumental passages. Now, it has musical shifts ranging from delicate piano and flute really to energetic, complex rhythms. Lyrically, there's a use of surreal imagery and narrative abstraction, but the track shows off the band's technical skill and playful but sophisticated style. It remains a cornerstone of Canterbury progressive rock. Magnum now are a British band, and these guys blended melodic hard rock with some really nice progressive structures. Their debut album Kingdom of Madness from 1978 introduced some extended compositions and ambitious arrangements. The title track features some soaring vocals, some intricate guitar work and really some quite dramatic keyboards. Lyrically, it's a story of heroism and personal struggle. It's very common in progressive narratives of the time. Musically, though, it alternates between some reflective verses and some powerful climatic sections. Now, the track combines accessibility with technical skill, and it captures the essence of 70s symphonic prog. The Italian band PFM fuse rock, classical and jazz elements into their highly arranged composition. They're a real favourite of mine. And the album Per un Amico features some melodic yet complex progressive rock with rich instrumentation. The track I'm looking at is Celebration. This is an upbeat symphonic track with keyboards, guitar and dynamic rhythm changes. The lyrics speak of joy and reflection, which really match the uplifting musical tone of this track. And again, it's one that alternates intricate passages with some accessible melodies, and there's a combination of real Italian progressive rock sophistication and energy that makes it a standout 70s composition. It really was a beautiful piece of music. The interestingly named Sir Lord Baltimore, an American band, blended early heavy metal with progressive experimentation. Their debut album, Kingdom Come, is aggressive yet musically adventurous. The title track features driving riffs, extended instrumental sections, and some layered guitar harmonies. It's really pleasant to the ear. Lyrically explores apocalyptic and fantastical themes, and it has structures that alternate between heavy propulsive sections and the more intricate instrumental passages. The track illustrates the band's fusion of hard rock energy with progressive sophistication in a most positive and enjoyable manner. Now, the British band If combined jazz, rock and progressive rock with some sophisticated arrangements. Their second album, If 2, features intricate instrumental interplay and improvisational moments. Forgotten Roads shows really some tight rhythms, an expressive saxophone and some layered keyboards. Its lyrics speak of reflection and nostalgia, really emphasising some personal and social themes in it. There's some energetic passages and some calm melodic sections, and really again demonstrates quite a versatility to it all. It represents the band's successful fusion of that jazz rock virtuosity with a progressive structure, and they did it really well. Now, thanks for joining me on this journey through 20 of the most overlooked progressive rock tracks of the 1970s. Now, these songs proves that there's so much more to prog rock than just the big names we all know. Yes, we love them, but there is other stuff out there. Now, if you discovered a new favourite today, or perhaps remembered an old one you might have forgotten, drop me a comment and tell me which track really blew your mind the most. Now, talking of the Big Six, I shot a video about them here, and you can watch that one next. I'll see you over there.